Hello and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jameson Rabbit, and the man seated next to me was born without knuckles. His name is Mike Roth.
Yeah, it's crazy when they put in artificial knuckles.
Yeah.
They take a cadaver from squirrels.
Wow.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
I think of these things on the fly, and that's what came up. That's it. That's all I got.
Man, you have dead squirrel knuckles?
Dead squirrel knuckles. It causes me to harvest nuts in the spring.
Yeah.
I dig up everybody's stuff, and squirrels get thinner that way.
Yeah.
You notice how they're fat in the fall time? Yeah, I'm the guy that makes them thin again.
My God. There's so much to learn when you watch this show. So much to learn. I feel like the rest of the show is downhill now.
Well, it probably is.
My
Movies
goodness.
weren't really... But we'll talk about that momentarily.
Let's get right into it. What we have on the marquee this week, I'm going to get us started. We have an interesting show where neither one of us saw the other one's movies. We have 3 solo reviews, which is kind of fun.
Yeah, but you know what?
First time ever.
I'm going to sit over here and I'm going to nod a lot.
Okay.
How's that?
Good. It took us 199 episodes, but we got to one where we didn't see each other's films.
Is this 199?
199, sir. Be ready.
This is my retirement episode.
This is the retirement show. All right, let's get into it. The first movie we have on the marquee this week is The 1517 to Paris from director Clint Eastwood. It is the movie about the true story of 3 American heroes and 1 French guy that they barely mention, who stopped the terrorist attack on a train, the 1517 to Paris, risked their lives to stop a terrorist attack. That's the story. The problem is, that story takes up about 4 minutes of the movie. The rest of the movie is seeing how these guys grew up. So see, the action you're seeing right here in the trailer is all of the action that you will see in the movie.
Oh, no.
And it is done through flashbacks constantly. As we go back and we meet these 3 guys, and the big get for this movie, the big hook, is that the 3 guys who were the actual heroes are playing themselves in this movie. So it's non-actors, it's real guys in this movie. Spencer Stone, Alex Skarkatos, and Anthony Sadler.
I got a question.
Yes.
What's the point of using the real people if you're only going to take like the real life situation for 4 minutes?
It's a real cop-out to me. And you'll see, the movie, it has no story. The movie kind of really goes nowhere. And, I mean, it shows them growing up as kids, and then it'll cut back to the terrorist pulling up his gun. You're like, oh, here's some action, and then cut to them in high school hanging out. And there's so many scenes where it's just like 3 guys, just like, they're literally there's dialogue where one guy Skypes another guy, and he's like, hey, what's going on with you? Not much. About you? Not much, just hanging out. Yeah, me too. Next scene. Like, that's not a scene. It should not be in a script. This was, I think it was a bad idea, giving so much quote-unquote acting time to these guys. Mm-hmm. Also really weird is the rest of the cast is filled with solid comedic actors. Jenna Fisher, Judy Greer, Thomas Lennon, Tony Hale, Urkel, Jaleel White is in this.
Really?
All playing serious roles. So you fill it with comedic actors playing serious roles. Also Jenna Fisher, who I love from The Office, is supposed to be playing... she's Jim's wife on the other, Pam Beasley. She's supposed to be playing one of these guys as moms. I think she's about 4 years older than these guys. Come on. Anyways, so you give these guys who aren't actors a ton of heavy lifting acting moments.
Yeah.
And it's wooden and it's stiff and it's hard to watch. There's Clint Eastwood directed this.
Yeah.
He has one of his characters wearing an Outlaw Josie Wales t-shirt in the movie. Just blatant self-promotion.
Really, you see that a lot in a lot of movies.
There's things where in the background somebody's watching one of his movies.
Yeah.
But he's got a guy just wearing a shirt with his picture on it. Just wear my face, kid. It felt like an 87-year-old guy out of touch with the real world nowadays.
Yeah.
There was a lot of like, these kids and their selfie sticks. You watch these guys really, because nothing is happening for most of this movie, and so it's watching them go on their vacation and just kind of check out Venice and check out Italy, and they're backpacking, and I'm going, I don't care. I don't care. And they're horrible at acting. Why are we doing this?
I rarely care when I see vacation videos of people I know.
Exactly. and so you get very little out of these guys. Nothing feels real. The reactions, the emotions, nothing feels real from these guys. There's a training montage in here. You kind of saw a second of it in there when he's flipping a tire.
Yeah.
There's a training montage that feels like it was a promotional video put out by the military with like voiceover. Like, you can do anything you want. I'm like, why is there a training montage in the middle of this movie? This makes no sense to me. It felt so out of touch. I think that the big hook on here is that, we got the real guys.
Yeah.
And I feel like casting those guys is just an out for a bad movie.
It's gimmick.
Yeah, you could just say, these guys aren't actors. Yeah, but you, as a director, as a filmmaker, you still have to get something out of the people that you put in front of the screen. You can't just put people in front of the screen and go, well, they weren't actors, so you get what you get.
Yeah.
It's a cop-out.
Yeah.
And it was frustrating, and it felt exploitative of these guys.
It feels like the theory is they would be able to recreate the actual emotion, but that's something actors are trained in.
Yeah, there's some frustrating things. Like there was, around this time, there was a tragedy at Fort Hood where a guy turned and shot a lot of soldiers on Fort Hood.
I remember that.
They borrowed from that tragedy to try and build some fake drama in this movie. These guys weren't on Fort Hood. They were at a different base, but they used that horrible tragedy to try and build a dramatic moment in this movie that fails. All it does is show that the main guy, Spencer Stone, is just a failure at most things that he does. It was so frustrating. It felt like a made-for-TV movie with generic soap opera actors in it. And more, it was an incredibly weak script. Mm-hmm. And wooden acting with a weak script that went nowhere was just horribly frustrating. And it just reminds me that Clint Eastwood has had a very rocky career of late as a director.
Yeah.
At his best, I think Clint Eastwood is one of the great directors. Mm-hmm. Gran Torino, Unforgiven. Those movies where he casts himself as the crotchety old guy.
Yeah.
Great. But there's also some really, really rough ones like J. Edgar and this and Jersey Boys.
I was just going to say, what would you rather watch, this movie or Jersey Boys?
I watched Jersey Boys. I like the music at least.
All
I'll
right.
sing along to that movie.
Yeah.
This was hard to watch. It was really hard. And so I did not enjoy it.
Okay.
I think that it was a bill of goods that they're trying to sell is if you don't enjoy it, you're not patriotic, because these guys were real heroes. Mm-hmm. They didn't really address that there were other heroes there that also got this, that were doing the exact same thing. There's actually one guy who was the first guy to go after the gunman. He's not mentioned.
Oh.
Because it's all about the Americans,
Yeah.
So anyways, I think this movie was really, really rough. And I ended up giving it 1 star.
Holy cow.
1 star.
It's
not good.
That's the lowest score so far this year.
It might be. I don't remember a worse movie. I mean, Winchester was pretty bad. I'd watch that over this one again.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah.
There was some things in there at least. There was nothing here for me, so. Yeah.
Yeah, at least the last 10 minutes of Winchester.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, talk about a good movie, sir. What do you have?
How about something else? I'll do 50 Shades Free. This is a third installment in the 50 Shades of Grey series. Obviously, if you have not seen the first 2, you're not going to want to jump into this one. And my recommendations for the other 2 is don't start it. It's really bad. Basically, what we have is Dakota Johnson. She's back as Anastasia Steele, and she is married to Christian Grey, the love interest for the past 2 movies, played by Jamie Dornan. It starts off as Christian Grey is about to settle down. They buy a house together. Of course, he's uber rich, so he could do anything he wants, and there's really no problems, just like all the other movies, where normal problems are easily solved by gobs and gobs of cash.
That's America.
And a lot of the things that happen in this movie would be considered creepy if it wasn't for gobs and gobs of cash.
Right.
It's almost like any problem can be solved if you are rich enough. In this one, I almost called him Dorian Gray. Totally different. Much better. Christian Grey is trying to kind of protect his wife from the evils that are lurking out there. He has constant bodyguards around her. He's, as usual, very demanding and telling her, hey, don't go out alone.
Very
don't
protective.
go here. extremely protective and controlling. And Anastasia, being the free-willed spirit she is, she does things every once in a while just so she could get punished later.
Oh boy, she's freed.
It's a special kind of punishment. That's what all these
Does her
books are
past
about.
come back to haunt her at all, though?
A little bit.
Oh no.
And I don't want to ruin the whole thing, but really the whole thing ruins itself.
Oh no.
I'm just going to tell you, the guy from the first movie that her boss...
I mean, we see him.
Yeah, he comes back and he has a kidnapping thing where all of a sudden she does everything a normal person doesn't do in order to try to save the day. And yeah, I mean, it's exactly like all the other movies where the reason why you're going to this movie isn't for great storytelling or great acting or beautiful sceneries. It's for the S&M that
for Cinemax.
goes. Yeah, it's a softcore, not even softcore.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty. There's a lot of topless scenes.
Sure.
And
my goodness.
that's
Michael.
yeah. I'm sorry, but as far as story goes, terrible story, bad acting. It's a third installment, so it's not really something you want to jump into. I gave it a 1.5, and that's just because
you like fancy cars?
I like yeah, that's it. Fancy cars, and that's it.
Man.
But otherwise, yeah, this movie is bad, but so's all the other ones. So,
I agree. And I went into this series open-minded.
Yeah.
And I was actually planning on seeing this one just because
you've seen the other two, yeah.
And yeah, it's a joke. It's like Magic Mike. I was like, oh, you're watching these, but those you find enjoyment in certain things.
Yeah.
And this series, I've struggled with.
At least with Magic Mike, you have the good music, and you have.
I actually think the first one is actually a pretty decent movie as far as that series.
And they're trying to be fun with it. Where 50 Shades is never fun, it's always serious, and terrible things happen all the time. And the quick result of all these things is if you have lots of money, whatever you do is not creepy and totally solvable.
Amen.
Yeah.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. So, that's it.
Oof. All right, let's try another movie then. The third movie we have on the marquee this week is the new family animated movie, Peter Rabbit, from director Will Gluck. It is the story of a rebellious bunny rabbit trying to sneak into a farmer's vegetable garden. It is based on the children's story from Beatrix Potter. What we have is it's your live action universe with these. How do you explain it? Like animated, but they're supposed to look real. I don't know what the word is, but they're animated animals. Peter Rabbit, voiced by James Corden, he is the title character, and he tortures the farmer next door, played by Sam Neill. And Sam Neill is awesome as this crotchety old farmer who just wants some rabbit pie. And Peter and his friends, Flopsy, Mopsy, Cottontail, and Benjamin.
All the famous names.
All of them come in, and some great voice actors. Margot Robbie as Flopsy, Daisy Ridley as Cottontail. Some fun voices, and they just want to steal all of his food. The farmer dies pretty early in the movie, and the animals overrun the house. They have free reign on this joint, except his great nephew, played by Domhnall Gleeson, shows up because he finds out that he has inherited this property, and his plan is to sell this farm so that he can go and open a high-end toy store in London. In London. He wants to have a huge high-end toy store.
I'm assuming he's a good guy because bad guys don't make toy stores.
Well, he's just been fired from Harrods, the high-end toy store there, and he wants to open one to compete with them and show them. He's portrayed as a bad guy, but part of it is just like, I don't know. I mean, the guy's just been pushed to his limits a lot of times. He's got some anger issues, but these animals are pushing him to his limits. And so you have Rose Byrne as the human who cares for all of these bunnies and animals. She loves them. She lives next door.
Oh.
And
she doesn't mind infestations.
She enjoys infestations. And it's weird because it leads to this like triangle between Domhnall Gleeson's character and Peter Rabbit and Rose Byrne over the affections of her. Like they are fighting for her and her loyalties. And it's a weird movie. Like it's really sweet. I think the animation looks really great. It's really good. And I thought the voice acting was really fun. James Corden was really good as Peter. The longer the movie went, the further it got away from a sweet story. I mean, There's a lot of explosions in this movie. You wouldn't
Okay.
expect that.
Yeah.
There's some controversy around this movie about mocking people with food allergies and the fact that Domhnall Gleeson goes into he has to use his EpiPen to keep from dying because the animals poisoned him. And there's been some controversy about that, about mocking whether food allergies are real or not.
Seems well. I mean, they are.
But I mean, everyone has one. That's their joke.
Oh,
you
okay.
know. But anyways, it's a weird movie. Like I think that it, as I said, as it went along, it felt like they were running out of story, and they're just kind of stretching some things. But I thought that James Corden was a lot of fun. I thought Domhnall Gleeson was awesome in this movie. He was superb in this role because he naturally has like this smarmy look on his face that he brought to Star Wars, that he brings to a lot of things.
Okay.
He's General Hux.
Yep.
And he's got this great physical humor, just his length that he has. It played really well in this. I thought he was remarkable in this movie. I think it's a fun kids movie. There's some problems with it. It's not great, but it's fun. It's worth seeing.
I have a feeling you're going to give a good score.
I give it a decent score. I give it a 3 out of 5. It's a fun family movie.
You know what? After the other 2 movies that we've been
Yeah.
reviewing, 3 is awesome.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I'll take it all day long if I'm not watching 1517 to Paris.
There we go. Or 50 Shades Free.
Right,
I mean, really.
Exactly. So it's fun, and if your kids, if you have kids of that age, it's really enjoyable.
And really, that's the only thing that's out right now for kids that age.
Well, this week as we're recording, then Early Man comes out, which
Yeah.
maybe, but this is more for the whole family. Early Man, I don't know. Kids might have a hard time getting into the Neanderthal animation, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. That's coming next week. But yeah, I recommend it. And we had a lot of fun when I took my daughter to go see this at the Palace. They had Peter Rabbit celebration, so there are all of these kids dressed up as the animals from the story. That was kind of fun.
But they've been promoting this for quite a while.
Yeah.
I've been seeing the popcorn buckets and stuff for quite a while.
Yeah, it was worthwhile. So for our movie throwback this week, we decided to go with animals in a human world. And
We had a cross.
we watched the same movie, only different versions of it.
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
We're talking about Charlotte's Web. It
Yeah.
could be either 1973.
Right, or 2006, as I watched.
Yep,
I think we have a trailer for the 2006 version.
Okay, well, we're going to go with that.
But it's the same story either way.
It's same story. So what we have is we have a pig named Wilbur. He gets sold to the neighbor because to kind of save his life. Fern was able to save his life by picking the runt of the litter,
Yeah.
and that was the one that wasn't going to get slaughtered. But it gets transferred to another owner, and that guy is going to kill some pig, make some
sure.
bacon, with the help of his friend Charlotte, which happens to be a little spider that's highly intelligent. Charlotte makes words in the web, which makes Wilbur, instead of potential food, becomes a potential miracle. And
He's a
becomes
celebrity.
Huge deal among everybody, all the locals. He also makes friends with a rat named Templeton.
Yeah, I love Templeton.
And my version, played by Paul Lynde,
Yeah.
who is
He's
fantastic.
great. He's my favorite part about that version.
And another thing that is great about this movie is the music. It's made by the Sherman Brothers, who also did
Yeah.
Mary Poppins and Jungle Book,
Yep.
which both have very catchy tunes that
Yeah.
will never die. Fantastic movie. It's one of the first animated movies I remember seeing where I really felt like crying. Yeah, Bambi was sad, but Bambi's sadness kind of happened right away.
You
in the
don't know
beginning.
Bambi's mother that well.
No, you don't. Or this one, you love all the characters. And it
Yeah.
really is a movie about the circle of life. There's a lot of themes about birth and, unfortunately, death. And it's such a beautiful movie. I haven't read the book, but it's done by E.B. White. And
Yes.
that is also a fantastic
A great
novel from
novel.
what I've heard.
Absolutely, a great novel, a movie that I remember having to read and my kids have read. And the version I watched, the 2006 version, you have Dakota Fanning as Fern. A lot of great voice work. Julia Roberts voices Charlotte.
Okay.
Thought she was really, really good. Steve Buscemi as Templeton was like 1A to Paul Lynde as Templeton. Like it was a really nice It was right on the same level for me.
Oh, he has that. Buscemi has that rat voice.
Yeah, he
I
does.
mean, he could do that.
Oh, he's a human rat.
Yeah.
100%. Steve Buscemi, human rat. Everyone knows that. You also have Sam Shepard narrating it. He's got a great voice for narration. And you have Danny Elfman scoring the movie, and he brought in some of the music from the original one, and it was really enjoyable.
So you took the best parts out of one movie,
Yeah.
put in another one, and gave Danny Elfman the score.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do something with this Danny Elfman.
Yeah.
He's pretty good with that.
So it sounds like it got topped. I have not seen this one.
It's enjoyable. Now I haven't seen the '73 version since I was young.
Yeah.
I remember really enjoying it. I remember watching it in school. Like we read the book and then we watched the movie. And so then the 2006 version is on Netflix. So I was like, oh yeah, perfect. It's right here. Watched it for the first time with the kids. Really enjoyed it. Really enjoyed it.
Well, 1973 is a really great year for me.
Yeah?
It happens to be.
What happened?
One of the best people I know got born that day.
Mike, I was born in '77. Mike,
No,
you got that wrong.
73.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it's been around as long as I've been alive, and I remember watching it on television a lot.
It's just such a touching story.
It really is.
It's sweet without being syrupy sweet, and you're not talking down to kids.
No,
you're teaching them, and yeah, there's a reason that almost everyone I know. I mean, I've talked about it this week with different people. Like, yeah, I just watched Charlotte's Web, blah blah, and it's connected with everyone that I've talked to. They're like, I love that, whichever version it is, or just the book.
Yeah,
I love that. There's something about that connects with kids.
Well, it is really rare that people make a children's movie that doesn't pander to the fact that they're children.
Exactly.
Really, maybe one a year.
Yeah. Yeah, you're good if you get one of those.
Yeah, and
it's tough
to have something like this last for so long
right.
and then get remade because yours really can't be lasting. It's special, and yeah, I could see why a lot of people have a lot of sentiment for this movie.
Absolutely. All right, let's.
Matter of fact, I actually get a little.
You getting a little bit
still.
clipped?
Yeah, God, that
Mike,
movie
let
is
it
so
out,
beautiful.
buddy. Let it out. All right, let's take a quick look ahead at what is going to be coming out the weekend of February 23rd, sir. We have a movie that when we talked about, I think last week, talked about our most anticipated films. One of your movies is right here. We're talking about Annihilation.
I am looking forward to that.
Director
immensely.
Alex Garland, who brought us Ex Machina. We have Natalie Portman and Oscar Isaac. I watch anything with them in it.
Yeah, I mean, really.
Yeah. It looks pretty good.
I have a feeling this one is going to knock it out of the park. I'm
I
going
hope
to
so.
hopefully talk about this at the end of the year next year. That's how much I'm looking
I
forward
wonder
to.
if we went back and looked at what was the earliest movie in the year that made our best list, over the previous years.
I remember one of yours.
Yeah?
And that one did not turn out very well.
Yeah?
That was the one with the producer. And the trailers looked awesome. It had a great soundtrack. I can't remember the name of it. Old Hollywood. It was based on
Hail Caesar.
Hail Caesar, yeah.
Hail Caesar.
I don't remember any of mine.
The other movie we have coming out that weekend is Every Day. That's the movie where a teenage girl falls in love with someone, but that boy transforms into another person's body every day.
And I'm looking forward to this one, too.
It's an interesting premise of
yeah.
If physicality is not a thing, you fall in love with somebody, and then they're an old man, they're a little kid,
Yeah.
they're a dog. I don't know what it is, but they're a different
about-
person every day.
Yeah, it's about truly falling in love with a person and not the outside. I think it should
Mike's
be really...
gonna get weepy.
No.
I can already tell.
I think it's going to be really interesting if they do it right.
Okay. The last movie we have that weekend is Game Night, the new movie from director John Francis Daley. It's a murder mystery party with a whole bunch of folks: Jason Bateman, Rachel McAdams. They're not sure if it's a murder mystery or if it's a real murder. What's going on? Hilarity ensues, murder ensues. Who knows?
And I've been enjoying that trailer too.
Yeah.
It's starting to get out of the bad movie stretch
Right.
and get into the good movies again.
Yeah.
And this will hopefully last.
Boy, if these three hit, that would be nice. If all three of them are good,
Yeah.
that'd be like the inverse of this week almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll watch anything with Jason Bateman in it. That's for sure. Now, sir, next week is going to be episode 200 for us. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome that we have been
I
here
wear-
for 200 consecutive weeks.
Should I wear a bow tie?
Oh, Mike's gonna bring out a bow tie. We have a lot of fun coming up because we also have the Oscars coming up shortly in a couple weeks. So we will be doing I don't know, at some point here in the next week or two, we will be doing our Oscar predictions and picks because the Oscars are on March 4th. which is right around the corner, sir.
All right, I
So
got to
you
put
might
that
wanna
on my
start-
calendar. Make sure I don't
Start getting ready for your Oscar shenanigans. Last year we had a fun Oscar party.
Yeah.
You and I sat
Well,
around and watched the Oscars.
landed on a special person's birthday.
Yeah, very special boy. Doesn't do it this year.
He was so happy.
Special boy. All right, before we leave you, we want to thank our sponsor, Marcus Theaters, The Palace here in Sun Prairie. Thank you for sponsoring our show. We always appreciate that. You can also, if you want to find things from us, just go on to the online, dial up your AOL, and get your disc in, put it in, and get on your AOL and search Real Reviews TV on Twitter, or if you're on Facebook, go to facebook.com/Real Reviews TV. You can find all previous 199 episodes of this program. If you go to sunprairiemediacenter.com, there's an on-demand player on there. You can just pull these things up, watch them at your leisure.
And I still have the offer. If you watch all the episodes, like this weekend,
I'm not sure how hours work, but I don't think that would happen.
I'll buy you dinner. Not an expensive one.
Not expensive.
I'll buy you dinner.
Mike will take you to Arby's. They're
Yeah.
not a sponsor.
Well, I mean, if all of our viewers watched it,
Yeah.
I can't take all of them.
All right.
Yeah. I
Uh,
was going to throw out an arbitrary number, but
what else? This week we have Black Panther coming out. Next week we're going to be talking about Black Panther, like the first superhero movie of the year.
Yep.
Looks interesting to me.
It looks
I'm
super cool.
Fairly excited
a
about it.
lot of people are hyped about this one.
Looks like a pretty great cast. I like Chadwick Boseman. I like Michael B. Jordan in pretty much anything he does too.
Yeah. And Marvel really has that formula down pat. Sometimes
They made some good movies.
Yeah. I haven't been too interested in them. It's almost like I see the template and it's getting boring.
Yeah.
But at the same time, no matter how boring it is, it's still a good movie.
It's been interesting because they do have a template that you can see from the get-go, but it's successful, and it's kind of like, why mess with it? It's
Exactly.
working.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're following the same thing. You know what that thing does? It makes us $1 billion every time.
Well,
so why would we tinker with it?
Exactly. I mean, I wanted a little bit more out of Doctor Strange and stuff like that,
Yep.
but yeah. I mean,
We have some big Marvel movies this year with Ant-Man and the Wasp. Of course, Avengers coming out.
Venom.
Yeah, Venom. Yeah, there's some big Marvel movies. Not to mention, Deadpool.
Avengers is two-parter, though, right?
I believe Infinity War 1 and then
Okay.
possibly Infinity War 2.
Yeah,
if
'cause
it
you
does
got
well.
70-something characters.
Yeah,
and
I don't know.
some
If
of
it
them
makes
have to
money,
die.
we'll see.
Yeah.
It may bomb. Nobody might see it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We also, get off track here with Marvel. Also, this next week we're going to be talking about Early Man. That's the new movie from the producers of the Wallace and Gromit films about Neanderthal man. We also have Samson, a movie about the biblical character Samson.
Hey,
Just
just
in
like my
time.
beard loses his hair.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I don't either. I really
I
don't.
assumed you were trying to ditch the George Lucas look, but I think it only reinforces it.
Yeah. Someone showed me a picture of George Lucas without his beard, so I wasn't really anxious about shaving it. And then my guard fell off, and yeah. So here I am.
I just want to say, folks, if you want to see some entertainment, go onto our Facebook page, like I mentioned before, Real Reviews TV. You can see a side-by-side shot of Mike and George Lucas. If you doubt whether this man really has what it takes to pull it off, trust me, it's uncanny.
Or don't. You can check out other things.
I won't forget this past year at Comic-Con when a man who was a professional at dressing up as Star Wars characters, screen-accurate Star Wars characters, said, I need a picture with George Lucas over here.
Yeah.
That's
That's
cemented
complete stranger. It was, I was flattered until I found out why, and then I was like, oh.
I laugh, but then I get referred to as Porkins, so I can't laugh too much.
Especially in your Halloween outfit.
Like
yeah.
a Porkins. Shut up. Anyways, all right, so those are the movies we're going to be talking about next week during episode 200. I might bring a noisemaker, maybe a little pointy hat.
I might dress
We're going to have
up.
some fun.
Yeah. I think I got a suit. I might wear that.
Yep.
That's
Absolutely.
going to be good.
So, anyways, tune in for that next week, and you can hear us on KSUN 103.5 if you're local here. Check all that out. But until next week, when we're celebrating 200 episodes, my name is Jameson.
I'm Mike Roth.
Thanks for watching.